My name is Kelly Mason, and I've been working in the film industry since 1986. When I was very young, about 8 years old, my parents gave me a camera for Christmas, and I started shooting then. And when I heard that a video camera was going to be coming out, that Sony was designing their first video camera, I got a job selling shoes to save up money to buy this first video camera, because I just loved taking pictures and loved being behind the camera. When I was 16 years old, a family friend invited my mom and I to Montreal to the set of Cannonball Run 3. And it was a 7-camera production, $55 million budget film, so it was my first exposure to the film industry. I worked that day wrapping cable. At the end of the day, the cinematographer asked me if I would like to stay on as the camera trainee. And so for the next 3 months, I did so. Now, there was no camera trainee position at that time, so they kind of made it up. So when I finished, I returned to Toronto and went to the union, and I explained my experience, and I asked if I could call some of the cinematographers in the union. And I did so and asked them if I could go on as their camera trainee, and I went on their productions and worked for free, because there again was no position at that time, and that's how I got my entry in. So I did about 6 productions as a camera trainee, and then I upgraded to second camera assistant, and I spent 7 years in that category. Upgraded to focus puller, and 7 years as a focus puller, and then by the time I was about 30 years old, I became a camera operator and spent about another 7 years in that position and became a cinematographer after that. I love working with a team, and in a kind of a family environment that we have in the film industry. I have a calm attitude, so I like bringing that calm energy to set, and I also love giving people the opportunity to express their creative ideas and collaborate with me, and so I'm always open to hearing what their ideas are as well. Also being very efficient, and just, you know, having a quick mind around what needs to be done, and in the moment, and how we can move forward quickly. So my role as a cinematographer is a visionary. I need to kind of envision what tools I'm going to use, what lights I'm going to use to bring the story to life for the director, and to execute that director's vision. So in that aspect, then, you know, deciding what type of equipment is going to work within the budget, and what's going to keep it efficient and on time, and in that aspect being a leader. So leading the different categories, you know, in terms of everything that's going on, needing to bring all that together, and getting things built, or getting things, specific pieces of equipment ordered that ahead of time. So it's really being a ringleader of many different departments, and also being the partner with the director and the producers, the production team, and helping them with what obstacles or restrictions that they may have. So working with them, and understanding, you know, how we can best make it work for all parties involved. So, you know, before I had children, I was able to dedicate all of my time to the industry, and we know that's generally what happens. So, you know, we need to do that, whether we're researching when we're off set, or we're working on set. So it's very time consuming, and I love that, because it's a passion that I enjoy. But when I had children, then I needed to take a step back, and so I struggled with that, knowing that at first I thought, oh, I could do all of it. I could have children and bring the kids on set and still do my job, but that's just not how it works. That's not the reality. The children need the mother at home. I think some of my biggest struggles is thinking too far into the future and becoming overwhelmed with all of the things that need to be done or should be done, could be done, and you know, staying in the moment is really the goal. And I realized that after I had children, because you know, before I was able to dedicate all of my time to the film industry and to my career, which I love and I'm so passionate about. But once I had children, I needed to really be on top of time management and prioritize what was most important to me. And so I struggled with not being able to move forward in the industry as fast as everyone else was. And I wanted to keep up because I loved working with the people that I was working with. And I thought, well, maybe I won't be able to work with them anymore, or I'm going to be forgotten, or I'm going to be overlooked because I'm a mom now. But that was a bit of an illusion, because what I realized that, you know, once I got back into the business and got through the younger years with the children and stayed home with them and raised them, and you know, I always maintained my cinematographic career because I needed to make an income. I'm a single parent, so I was able to maintain some kind of work and time allowance that was balanced, but it had always been my struggle to make sure that I balanced that properly and that I was present in the moment. So when I was home with my children, I wasn't thinking about my next job or making phone calls or planning. When I had children, I did get postpartum depression. So I was inflicted with mental illness. And I struggled with that because I had been so used to being on a film set. For 23, 24 years before I had children, I had a call sheet. I knew exactly what I was going to be doing that day. I had my food taken care of. I was catered. So when I became a mother and a homekeeper, I had to create a new life, ultimately, and a life that I had no experience with. And so I really had a hard time mentally and emotionally with fitting into that new role and that new life. And I really don't think I'm alone in that. I think there are a lot of career women out there that have struggled with their identity, with finding themselves again in this new role and being good at it, and then, you know, and then also allowing themselves to soften and not go after the career so much. So and be happy for others as they move forward, as they progress. So I really started to understand how to have a healthier outlook around all of that. The film industry is a masculine-based industry, and there are women that love the craft and have a passion to want to participate in cinematography in a collaborative effort. But at the core of it, there's still that feminine essence, which requires self-care, softening, introspection, receiving, intuition, all those things that are feminine. I think that's really what's great about what women can bring to a film set, is that intuition and that receptive mode, that feminine quality. But at the root of it, there are probably women that just don't want to go all the way through as a lifetime career in this industry on that level of masculine power. I think that's one of the reasons. And the other reason is the traditional reason of women wanting to be home care givers and mothers, and feel that it's either one or the other. They have to choose between the two. I know from experience that you can have both, and it's so rewarding to be able to use the masculine energy in the left side of the brain and all the logic and that to create an interesting pastime, really. I look at cinematography almost as a hobby. It's like such a rewarding thing that we do. And then also serve humanity, serve children, serve their families as a mother. That's possible. It is. It's just a matter of, again, prioritizing that time and that presence, that being present. Because I started so young, I really didn't know who I was. I was still a teenager So I didn't know what it was like to be a woman in the film industry. I just molded myself to being a man, basically, to being one of the guys, so that I could be accepted. And I wish somebody had said to me, spend more time, understand who you are, get to know yourself, love yourself more, and understand that you are a beautiful woman, and it's okay to be a woman and to bring those qualities of the feminine to the industry. So I missed out on many years being a man, basically, ultimately. And now I finally, whenever I speak to any of the women that are getting involved, I let them know, you know, love yourself first, get to know who you are, maintain your authenticity, because that's ultimately going to bring you joy and success. Biggest lesson I have learned is about pride. There's a lot of arrogance in our industry, and we, for some reason, feel sometimes that we are entitled to certain things because we are able to close down roads, or we are able to get into certain locations, or whatever it is. But for me, I did carry a lot of that arrogance and pride, and that damaged my relationships, and it damaged the relationship with myself too, because I didn't really get to know myself on a deeper level. I always thought I was a certain type of self that was better than everyone else, and that's not true. So through some personal obstacles, and again, when I suffered through the mental illness and I became well again, I realized that the most important thing is to just be appreciative and humble and respectful, and to treat everyone equally. I was shooting an assignment for Getty Images, and the director came in from New York and was speaking with my gaffer, because he assumed my gaffer was the DP. And after he had finished speaking, the gaffer looked to me and said, oh, well, you know, you could just direct all this information to Kelly, she's our DP. And he felt really embarrassed. I realized in that moment that, you know, it's just a conditioning that the industry has set upon all of us, that there is just an assumption that happens, and that I should just be more passionate and not feel judged, or not feel like, oh, it's just a one-sided thing. This is actually just an industry thing, so to have more patience. I was in Trinidad on a holiday with my family, and I was reading the newspaper and read there was a merchant ivory film being shot, and so I didn't know what merchant ivory meant, and I found out where they were filming and went to set, and I saw this older man, and I tapped on his shoulder and I said, I would really like to be involved in your production. I'm a cinematographer, here's my resume, could you get this to the producer? And he said, well, I'm James Ivory, and I am the producer, and here's my partner Ismail Merchant, and we were actually looking for a second unit cinematographer. Would you like to start tomorrow? And I just thought, aha, you know, anywhere, anytime, these lucky moments can come upon us, and to always just go for it and try, because I had no idea that I would actually work on a merchant ivory film. And this was Ismail's last film too, before he died, so it was a very special production. Yes, the industry, for, you know, the obvious points, has changed in that we have smaller budgets. Well, we've gone from film to video, and less time to get things made. We used to have to carry the lens cases to the camera, and if we didn't carry the lens case to the camera, we would be fired. So nowadays, the lenses come without the lens case. You know, everything is just so different with the focus puller and the job that they have. I don't know how they do it. I mean, I have so much respect for the focus pullers. They have to stare at the screen all day, whereas before, you know, we would have to know our zones. And as a cinematographer, when we were so dependent on our meters and understanding the qualities of the film and the types of films and how we can push and pull and really manipulate, and not being able to see that until the next day. And nowadays it's just so instantaneous, and You know, we have all of these immediate gratification tools, and so our role as cinematographers is to really take advantage of all these apps that are out there, and the information, this information age that we have exposure to. You know, we can really kind of allow ourselves to do multiple tasks, be more efficient, more educated, faster. And I think that it's really up to us to keep on top of that and to bring that to the production team, to the producers, and let them know some of these opportunities that we have to save money and be as efficient as possible. I would like to see people be more appreciative and respectful of one another. I know we're getting there. I know the changes in the film industry have been more positive lately, especially with the Me Too movement, people being aware of what's right and what's wrong, especially in the workplace, but in any environment. So what I'd like to see now more of is women given more opportunity as cinematographers for jobs, and really being valued for their skill and talent. So I believe that is something that's still slow moving, but hopefully sooner than later it will be equal for both genders. I'm actually really excited right now. I'm creating my first feature documentary as a filmmaker, as a director, cinematographer, and so I'm currently editing that project. It's very important to me because it's a slice of real life, and it's a personal story, and I really would love it to benefit my audience, and so that's an area that I want to continue pursuing as a director cinematographer. You know, I love working with people that have been in the industry for a very long time and have become very humble and still have so much experience and creativity behind them. And so it's those types of people that I really enjoy working with, as well as the emerging filmmakers. You know, anyone that's got creative passion and is kind and appreciative and talented and a team player. You know, I would love to help in that person's vision being brought to their highest and expectation, and even higher than they could ever imagine. I have recently been seeking out hiring more women. Obviously I love working with men too, and I do believe that there's the balance that's necessary on set with the masculine and feminine energies, but definitely I really enjoy working with women. In the past, I was so competitive that I would have been like, I don't know if I want to bring any women on board, but now that I have matured and realized the value that women bring working together, it's such a wonderful opportunity to be able to hold on to now in this day and age. The one word that I would pick to describe my feeling to be a cinematographer is blessed. I am so grateful that my soul journey has this opportunity in this lifetime to work with a family of amazing people and to create motion pictures that are very important for all of us to watch, and that can transform people's lives and bring the emotions out. So I feel extremely blessed to be doing what I'm doing.